Hello and welcome to this video on bonsai starter kits. Bonsai is a hobby that draws many people. Those same people can balk at the price of an established bonsai. This means they will often turn to kits or nursery stock to create their own. Of these, bonsai starter kits are a much better option in some respects. Many nursery bonsai are dead trees in a nice decorative pot, even if they don't know it yet. On the other hand, many individuals lack the confidence to turn a standard nursery stock tree into a bonsai. Kits will come in a range of styles. Everything from growing your own bonsai from seed through to simply adding a small tree to a pot that already has been wired. This range of input, delay, and work is not as much of a factor, but it does affect the price and type of bonsai you have in the end. For this video, we will focus on a grow your own bonsai kit. We found this bonsai kit at the local big box store. It is a simple enough kit with a small number of seeds, core palette, small pots, and a manual of sorts. Theoretically, everything you need to start growing the bonsai tree of your dreams. From the beginning, we have everything needed to grow a seedling, and this is also where the first problem shows up. The package does not differentiate between the species that need to be stratified and those that do not. If this is intended to be used as a starter for bonsai, it can be a sudden and rude lesson in patience. You need to stratify some species seeds and not others. In this case, one package needed stratification and the other did not. Stratification is the process of artificially recreating the effects of winter. You wet the seeds, then cool them. You keep them cold in the fridge for several weeks. They are then ready to be planted out. Without knowing this, you may buy such a package without preparations to stratify or the patience to wait. This is especially bad for a gift-giving scenario. Giving someone a gift but telling them they now have to wait at least a month, if not more, to use it is rather bad form. The second issue here are the core pellets. We found that they would not dissolve no matter how it was agitated or handled. This means we would otherwise have no media to grow the seeds in. Fortunately, we did not intend to use the core pellet as the mainstay media, but only for comparison. We were going to use a much more suitable seed-raising mix instead. In this case, having made those arrangements, we weren't put out by this, but again, if this was given as either a gift or with the intention of starting, you would have to then go back, purchase more appropriate mix, plant it out, and then you are able to start what's happening. We now waited to see how many seeds germinated. Of the more than 16 seeds planted, we didn't see any germinate for the first month and a half. It is possible that it will take much longer, but we are waiting to see what happens. This, if it had been a much more successful rate, or if we will see more in the end, is a rather poor turnout. If you had most of the 16 or more seeds germinate, that would have been a good number relative to what we had in the pack. But as it is now, we don't seem to have had any success, which is a concern, as the whole point of buying a grow your own bonsai kit is that they start growing. What we would have after this is the next concern, and that is a series of very small trees. They are not bonsai. And this is where the manual of sorts will become relevant if you buy a kit like this. It is the first place any information on seed stratification is shown. That is, a manual inside the box which is sealed and you don't know until you take it home or open it up. It is, however, the first and only major flaw of the manual. It's a roughly card-sized booklet with 33 pages of reasonably vague but useful guidance. It's again enough to get you started even if you have no idea what's happening. It does suggest the possibility of transplanting seedlings into bonsai pot, which does seem like a rather terrible idea. It will only delay the progress of a developing bonsai far more than you would hope. It doesn't explain the benefits of either planting it into a larger pot to let it grow up there, putting it into a training pot, or even directly into the ground once the seedling's established, rather than putting it into a bonsai pot. Putting it in a bonsai pot will slow its growth as such things are intended to do. If you wanted the best of all possible effects, in the ground, on a plank of some sort to develop a great Nabari is a good option. And this would be even better if you are looking at trying to work your way through the different sizes of bonsai. With the seedlings growing as they are with these trees at the end of the first season, they would be really only suitable for something like acacia size, but even that is rather unimpressive as a display. It is very spindly, it's very thin, it doesn't have any features worth noting. If you were to try and grow these into bonsai, it will take years to grow nabari, a good trunk, and style these seedlings into a bonsai. This is even before that you look at transplanting them into growing pots. This will certainly help with the above points if done, but only reduces the delay between buying the bonsai starter kit and having your own bonsai. The pictures on the box are nice, but they are more likely to be Yamadori than they are grown from seed. The reasons for this are very simple. A seedling starter kit is largely redundant. A good nursery plant will make a much better bonsai quicker than this kit can or will. You can also buy packages of seeds for much less, with greater variety, more reliable germination, and much larger quantities. This would allow you to grow them in the appropriate setup, such as growing tubs, training pots, and similar. Either option is better than trying to get a kit like this, as it is you are buying a seed. A seed that, if for example you were looking at the crabapple, could likely be found by simply wandering down a street where trees are growing and finding fruit that's fallen on the ground and started to germinate of its own accord, rather than paying what it cost us for this kit. The only advantages to it are that you got 4 pots, and that these 4 pots in turn didn't even have a media that you could use. Thank you for watching this video. If you have found it interesting, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please post any comments, questions, or suggestions that you have below.